Alright, today is March 10th. Gonna go over some trades, or a trade that I took this morning, and also a trade that I took yesterday. I was never able to do a analysis yesterday, so I'm gonna do it today. That being said, let me delete all this. I'm gonna go over the trade I took yesterday. I got to my desk around 6 a.m. right before pre-New York session started. So right here is when I got to my desk, like exactly 6 a.m. or maybe a little bit before. So when I get to my computer, first thing I want to look at is where am I at my trend. I know I highlighted this area right here as my weekly demand because I know if I go back to my weekly time frame, I can see that we have some demand created here on our weekly time frame. So this could be a spot where we could touch and give us a retrace to keep us going further, or to this could also be a spot where we can initially take off and go bullish for the next few weeks, just to continue our bullish momentum we have here going on. So with that being said, when I get to my desk, this never actually touched this here. I don't know why it does that on what is this called, replay. I'm gonna mark off this zone here. It's my H4 supply level. If I even scroll out to H1, you can see it hasn't even touched it yet. But so when I get to my desk, first thing I'm gonna mark off are my session high and low. So I know that this is gonna be my session low for London. Alright. And if I scroll down, right up here it's gonna be my London session high. So while I'm at my desk, I'm going to basically just watch the C price. I know I also have a little demand zone here. It is significant level, but not as significant versus my session high and low. So I'm gonna play here. I'm watching price, see what happens. Okay, I know we're at our session high right now. So if I were to see a pattern at this level, and if I were to take a trade, I do know that it's only gonna be a retrace, because if I scroll back to my M30 time frame, we can see we were bearish for a while. We had a lesser high, I'd overshoot to follow through, broke the support, and now I know I had this resistance right here that we actually broke above, retest, follow through, had another lower high and followed through again. So I know that we are in some bullish momentum at the moment. So at my desk while I'm watching this, I know that if I see a pattern, I'm going to take the trade. However, I'm not going to hold it for that long because I know I'm going against my market momentum at the moment. So if I play here, wait for a pattern, see if I get a pattern. All right, we can see that there really was no pattern here for me to take. So we could see that price just broke above our London high. So I know this was destroyed. So I'm gonna start looking left to see, at what point can price hit where I can take a small retrace to either hit these little demand levels. So I know right over here is right before our Frankfurt session begins. We have some supply created up here. I score my M15. You can actually see it right there. Is where it was created. Bit a 1-2 candle, and then this candle retesting that. So I know this can be a pretty good level where if price wants to stop here, give me a pattern to then retrace down, then I'm gonna take that trade, which I actually did. So if I play, I'm gonna go on the M5. So I play here. Price does hit my level here of our previous Frankfurt high right up here. So again, I know that I'm against my momentum at the moment. So if I take this trade, so I do see, I'm going to play it back here. Do you see that price does break above. However, the first thing I'm going to notice is this going to be an overshoot where I can catch in the trade and ride it down? Or am I going to retest and stay above the zone and keep going up? This lower time frame price action is going to tell me whether or not that's going to happen. So while I'm watching, I'm playing. So I know we get our retest, and price tried to follow through, gave us this wick, and then we also got a bearish engulfing here, which could also be a little small head and shoulders pattern. We have left, head, and right shoulder. So I actually did end up taking the trade here for a sell. Stop went above the head for around, plus like right here, like 25 pips. So I'm in this trade. I know I'm against my momentum, so I don't want to hold on this trade for long. So first things I can target is my London high. So I know that we do have a lot of wick area going on in here. So I know I can target this area for a TP. Again, really small trade because I'm going against my momentum. Not that much high of a risk reward. If I really wanted to, I could just place my stop above this head to give us an even better reward. I think I had it like right here on this wick, just to give me a little bit of room above this right shoulder. So now that I play, I know that this is a pretty big area. This is my London high for the day, my session high. So I know that price could touch this area and begin to go up. So as I'm watching this trade, we do end up to go bearish. Again, I'm just watching this price action to make sure I know what's going on. There we go. So price did end up hitting my target here. I did not close the trade out completely. I wanted this price to give me some kind of reason to get out, which was right here. I had this resistance created, and once this candle closed right here was when I exited my trade. So small little trade that I took yesterday. So now if I go back to my trade today, let me delete this, delete this, delete this, delete this, delete that. Same thing. Get to my desk, 6 a.m. Alright. So now, back at my desk today, 6 a.m. Right on here. So I know yesterday, if I actually go to my H4, we have broken above our H4 lower high at the moment. So I know first thing I can ask myself is if I'm going to get a retest and follow through to keep us going bearish off of this weekly demand level, or am I just going to get a longer retrace, possibly even an overshoot of this lower high. So while I'm here, we'll go to my M30. I know I have some support here. We have some support here that was broken, retested, and we followed through to indicate that we're going to start a bearish momentum. I can even see that, let me delete this, that we even broke this support right here. We broke, retested, tried to follow through, retested again, tried to follow through again. We actually broke above. So this tells me right here in this area that once we broke below this support, we trying to follow through but could not. This tells me exactly that my bullish momentum is still in play, that we still have buyers in the market more than sellers. Because if price were to actually break above here, make this red, retest, and then we were able to follow through like this, then that would tell me that we still have sellers in the market. Instead, all we basically did, I'm going to indicate what just happened down here. We broke, retested, tried to follow through but could not actually get to it, retested again, gave us a little tiny one, retrace, a little tiny one, tried to follow through again, and then indicated by this candle, just broke above this support line. So when price tries to break, we have to see some kind of indication of bearish pattern here to see if that we're going to get sells in the market. However, when this support was broken, we were just in a little consolidation trying to follow through below this first support that was created, but we just ended up breaking that again. So there was not enough sellers in the market to keep us going bearish, but we still have buyers. So this tells me that I want to look for a buy here to keep us going in our bullish momentum. So I delete this. So when I get to my desk at 6 a.m., first thing I'm going to pull out is my session highs and lows of the day. Sorry, it's going ahead of me here. Alright, so it is 5:50, which is pretty much around where I get to my computer. Once I analyze what just happened here, I know that I want to look for buys. So I know we have a session low here that at 5:50 a.m. when we're about to start pre-New York, this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see price get very close to my session low. If I really wanted to, I could pull it out this way for Frankfurt. So so if I go down to lower time frames, I'm going to watch to see in pre-New York, we actually did hit our level here. So at this point, I want M1 time frame, waiting to see if I can get some kind of pattern that wants to take me higher. Alright, we can see we touch. Still waiting. Okay. So I get a pattern here. I'm not going to enter off this engulfing. I want to see some more indication that buyers are going to be in the market here to take us higher. So we see we have break of support, break of this support. So once we break all these supports, every time we see this, I always ask myself, are we going to get a retrace and a follow through, or are we just going to see lesser highs being created that's going to indicate more sellers at the moment? So once you get all these breaks of these supports here, we get one retrace and bullish engulfing, which actually take my trade right here. Stop goes below the head, around 13 pips, and I'm going to target my session high, which is TP1 for London. So once I start playing it, we can see that I actually took a loss on this trade. Once price hit this level, I manually exited out of my trade, and then basically what I did after that is I took a loss on this trade and said, okay, I'm gonna come back New York session and see if I can catch a move there. I actually closed out, went back to sleep. I wasn't feeling very well, not just because of the loss, just overall, like I was sick to my stomach. So exited the trade, turned off the computer, and what we can actually see happen here is this was just one big overshoot. Price was staying below this level, however, we ended up coming back. If I go to my M3 time frame, we can see more clearly that we cannot stay under this level, which means this is just one big overshoot, and could have caught a trade right here actually. So we can clearly see that we have our left head, our left shoulder, a head, and right shoulder. on our London low, we can see we have a right shoulder retest going on, and bullish engulfing, which I would have taken right here. If I were to stay up, I would have taken this trade easily. Like I said, because we overshoot, and now we're creating some demand level that we're retesting in bearish, bullish engulfing. So easily would have taken this trade here. Again, would have rode it up to our session high. Easy 1 to 10, just because stops don't need to go any further than below this right shoulder. So literally only like 6 pip stop. So it would have given us a really nice 1 to 9, 1 to 10, 1 to 8. We can see if I play it, that we actually did end up actually like skyrocketing this huge candle. We can also see we did get one more retest here. Yeah, one more retest. Gave us a bullish engulfing. However, this entry would have found us at even lesser risk reward, but this over here was a better entry. We did end up creating this huge candle to try to go above, to give us our follow through for a H4. So those are the 2 trades that I took. I won one here, just a small trade, lost this one that if I'd stayed up could have gotten to a better entry to ride it up for about 135 pips, which would have been nice. But hey, you win some, you lose some, you miss some. You're not going to catch every move. So yeah, those were the trades, and keep going forward.